Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrade.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. It's not nearly 3 o'clock Monday afternoon. Reason why I am recording the video now instead of my normal time. My daughter's high school team is in the quarterfinals, so I will be going to the game and I will not have the opportunity to record the video. So I am doing it now with about an hour left of the day. Currently, again, pretty standard of what happens when the market loses key levels. Again, if you are brand new to the broadcast, you kind of see the importance of technical analysis, right? We knew the big macro level. The big macro level has been pierced. If you've been watching this broadcast, first of all, thank you very much for your viewership. If you could be so kind, click a like, show your appreciation so I could continue to hopefully help you guys out on a day-to-day basis. But the point is, we've lost the 50-day moving average, and the last 6 out of 7 days, we've been going lower. Again, I think at this point, it's safe to say, feel free to stop using the word bottom, this, bottom, that. Guys, it's irrelevant. We're day 6 or 7 below the 50-day moving average. I thought I made a pretty decent point on the weekend video and said, if it was reversed, okay, and we broke out of the 50-day moving average and the market went up 5 days in a row, and on the 6th day, it would have a red day, would that be the top of the market? If the answer was no, well, why would this be the bottom of the market on a bounce? Again, that's the whole point. That's how it works. That's how cycles work. There's a trend. There's a rest day in the trend, maybe 2 days worth of a trend, and then the trend resumes. And when you look over the weekend, this is kind of what we talk about dissecting information, right? If you look over the weekend, after I recorded the video, Trump came out with news that basically said Bitcoin, Ethereum, what else was there? XRP, a couple of others, Solana, right? Some of these cryptocurrencies, that there will be the heart of the reserve, right? It was a big deal. And when you woke up kind of the next day, you saw, Bitcoin flying, right? I think Bitcoin got up to like 95,000 today, going from a low of like 79,000 last week. And now you turn around and, this is why we talk about digesting information. Again, good news selling off is not good news. So you have Bitcoin that was at 95,000 only, several hours ago, currently is around 86,000. The gap up that we saw, there was a spill over from the currencies into equities. They got drowned very quickly. NASDAQ was up about 100 points pre-market. If you've been watching this broadcast for a long time, we tell you what not to do. Stop buying those gap ups. It's literally the same thing over and over again. The market gapped up 100 points today. Everything was up this morning. Nvidia and this and that and so on. That's it. That's the bottom. NASDAQ right now currently is down 250 points. The NASDAQ is getting hit for another 1.3%. The Dow is down 370 points, and the S&P 500 is down 53 points. There was news coming into today that basically held the market hostage of a holding pattern. And this was, Trump is going to have some announcements, some sort of Trump tariff announcements for 1:30. And the market just sat there and sat there and sat there. And there's two issues, right? There's two issues here. Number one, he announced that Taiwan Semiconductor, which I think everybody already knew this, but Taiwan Semiconductor is going to make $160 billion investment into the United States. And then he started talking about tariffs, right, for farmers, okay? Farmers, he basically said, hey, the farming community, we're going to start producing more food in the United States. Anything that is external is going to be taxed on April 2nd. And the market basically like, yeah, whatever. And they started selling again. So right now we got about an hour left to the close. By the time you guys are watching this video, who knows where the market's going to be. But as of right now, 10 minutes to 3 o'clock, we've got an hour and 10 minutes left. We are continuing the selling. But the most important part is individual names, guys. And that's the most important part. Anything that had a catalyst, anything that had a negative catalyst, anything that couldn't compete with rising support got hit last week is continuing in sell-off. And now we are at the point of bigger potential distribution, a bigger potential scenario for further downside action if these levels can confirm this week. Let's see. Again, the one thing I definitely do not like, the idea that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies had good news over the weekend, folks. It's not that I am the crypto king. I'm probably the least qualified to understand or even speak about cryptocurrency. But for me, it represents speculation money, right? Speculation money, people chasing. That's what you need for a solid rally in any asset class. And obviously, the fact that we are like 10,000 points off Bitcoin's highs and within the first 4 hours of people waking up for the new trading session is not really a good thing. And second of all, this is now becomes the line in the sand going into this week. It was last week's lows. Guys, write this down. The QQQ's 497 was last week's lows. That is also the rising 65-day EMA. Again, the last thing we want to see, and right now the Qs are roughly around 502. The last thing you want to see is selling escalating aggressively, shaking off good news, shaking off proactive news, especially coming out from the White House, and losing last week's lows. You don't want to see that. Nvidia. Right? Nvidia, again, got sold off on earnings. Folks, we're very, very close. Okay. We are very, very close to challenging the February lows. Okay. We saw this morning they were coming for the 16 weeklies. We saw today they were coming for the 110s, right? The 110s for next week. Again, institutional money flow. You have to follow the money flow. Look, as we're speaking right now, you're seeing some of the option flow coming in, right? Somebody bet for the 115 puts. Here's the 118 puts, right? Yeah, there's buyers coming in. There's buyers coming in on the sell side of the sell side bets coming in on Nvidia. Tomorrow, I am definitely watching for a potential breach of the February lows. Again, by the time you see this broadcast, maybe that 113 level will already be in the rearview mirror. That's going to be a very, very big number going into maybe tomorrow, right? Tesla, they tried to rally, right? We talked about Tesla over the weekend video. Again, I talked about it put in a tradable, right? That was the key word. That's the key word I talked about. It put in a tradable bottom because it was off the 200-day moving average. Folks, if this tradable bottom, which is Friday's channel, and you can see we're not that far away. Right now, Tesla is coming in very aggressively. As of right now, around 3 o'clock, it's around 284. If this thing violates any close below the 200-day moving average, right? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Amazon, right? Amazon continues to be a wounded duck. It is below last week's lows. This area here of 204, which is the February lows, is still very, very much in play, right? Very, very much in play. I think it's a scenario that if we cannot rally towards the end of the day, it will be definitely a situation that the bulls definitely will need to protect tomorrow, because if they don't, then you have more aggressive prices coming back into the 65-day moving average. Look at a name, for example, like Alibaba, right? Alibaba, I've been watching for a couple of days. If you notice what Alibaba looks like, okay, it's starting to resemble, if you guys remember, when PLTR lost the 5-day, when AFRM lost the 5-day, when UPST lost the 5-day, what was the common denominator? If it loses back the 10-day moving average, gravity kicks in. Folks, look at the setup on Alibaba, okay? Hopefully it will wait for me for tomorrow, but Alibaba, this thing starts losing the 10-day moving average. This thing will get hit very, very aggressively as well. Again, no stock, I don't care what their catalyst, no stock is going to outlast a heavy sell bias market. If it loses the 10-day moving average, if you've been watching this broadcast for a very long time, the 10-day moving average is the birth of a trade to the upside, and it's definitely birth of the trade to the downside. So again, let's see how the market opens up. But right now, these are the key components of the day. Good news, at least on asset classes of speculation money flow have been sold, right? Bitcoin right now is having troubles with the 86,000 area. Stocks that got hit last week are starting to lose last week's lows as well. That's not a good thing as well. And when you look at the overall spectrum of the tape, it's playing out like every market plays out technically. You have the majority of action taking place on one side of the market. Then you have your reverse trend day that we saw on Friday only continue for the rest of the week. And that's exactly what we're seeing today. Guys, have a great night, everybody. Tomorrow should be interesting. Let's see how we close today. By the time you watch this video, I can't tell you where prices are going to be. But as of right now, futures are getting pretty heavy. NASDAQ down 320 points. My game plan will definitely be ready for tomorrow. I'm definitely aware of all of last week's lows. And if those lows will confirm, we should have some really great value on deck. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.